All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast as we talk all things Pittsburgh and look ahead to Denver following another crazy round of the 2025 AMA Supercross season. Obviously, firstly, thank you everyone for listening and supporting the website. We really appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our sponsors in Fly Racing, Dirt Store, Fuchs Silkaline, and Dragon Energy for all the incredible support. As without them, none would be possible. Right, for this episode, I'm joined again by the great man, Whiskey Throttle Editor at Large, Jeff Beaver, who was live on the floor in Pittsburgh. So how was it, mate? Looked like a cracking round. The fans really got into it.
Yeah, that round was sick, dude. That stadium was cool. The city was cool, and yeah, that round was busy, man. There was a lot of people in the stands. The paddock was packed. Yeah, it was pretty epic, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it looked absolutely awesome, mate. I suppose the last couple of rounds before that had been a bit of light on attendance, obviously geographically pretty close. Obviously, everyone wanted to go to Pittsburgh, but yeah, it looked good. The atmosphere, the fan attendance, just the vibes, mate. It looked excellent. Obviously, some of those riders had those specialized kits as well, various sports teams from Pittsburgh. So, how was all that as a little sideshow, mate? It all adds to what a showpiece it was, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like Jared Lesher's bike. He looked pretty bitchin'. Obviously, he's on two strokes, so um, he gets love right there. There was a couple local guys. It was definitely cool. One of the cool things that happened was I went for early press on Friday at 6 a.m. but they canceled the riding, but I just went down to get a couple interviews, and I ended up getting two interviews plus Brock Glover, just a quick little sound bite from him and a picture of his trophy from 1983. And then I had a dead window from 7 a.m. till 1 when everybody started showing up. I'm like, Jesus, what am I gonna do? So I kind of took a little nap in my car, and I'm like, okay, that's boring. Put up a couple of this, and then I was just kind of cruising around the pits around 8:30 to see what was going on. There's this young kid with a media pass, and I'm like, who the hell is this? This is some kid named Ryder from one of the local Pittsburgh high schools, 15-year-old kid, and he's a journalist for the high school newspaper. So they gave him a credential for media, and they ended up letting him shoot photos from up in the safety hold, but they even made him stay up high, because he's a kid. But I thought that was pretty rad, dude. So I went around and showed him the ropes, and I introduced him to all the club guys, and um, Cam from Honda, who's Dean's mechanic right now. So can you imagine being a 15-year-old kid and getting a pass for Supercross? And I mean, it's cool. The kid took the public transportation up and walked 3 miles to the stadium from the public transportation on Friday and Saturday. And oh man, that kid was living the dream, dude. He probably all his friends were probably just thinking, dude, shut up at school today. It's probably all he talked about. So um, yeah, it was pretty legit, dude.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. Good on you for showing him the ropes and just like easing the, fear level because, running into some of your idols and stuff can't be easy. And to have you there, mate, must have been pretty awesome for him. You did get some pretty cool interviews from the Friday as well with some club dudes and some various riders, privateers and stuff, mate. So it's definitely made the most of the press day, I guess, without the riding, didn't you?
Yeah, that's not really my kind of cup of tea doing interviews. Not my favorite thing to do, but I like the SMX Next kids. They're not jaded or spoiled yet. So they're all kind of happy to talk, and it's funny to watch them get all nervous and shit. And but everybody I interviewed was super cool, and really like Fedortsov. He was cool as crap, and Mike B was giving me a little crap because I was using the back of their trailer, at the cityscape. And he said, "Hey man, why don't you go find like a different place to give them some different background?" I'm like, "All right." So I grabbed Ryder Malinowski. I'm like, "You got to go out to the truck to get your pass, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." So come on. So we took off for like an hour, and I took him up to the top of the stadium overlooking the Allegheny River and all that, and did his video up there and came back. And they're like, "Where the hell did you go?" He said, "Find a different backdrop." Be careful what you ask, Bubba. But no, it was fun introducing the kids and like Clark Robbins and Luke Fowler and Fowler's from my last name's Beaver and Fowler's from Beaver, Pennsylvania. I'm like, dude, jack me a sign. He's like, I got you. I'm like, hell yeah, I like this kid, dude. He's gonna get all kinds of love on Whiskey Throttle if I get a new sign. So if you listen to this, Luke, I want my shit. But yeah, so yeah, he's 18, so it's not like I'm asking a kid to break the law. I'm asking an adult. So there for all you haters out there. But yeah, it was fun, dude. And we were sitting on the line, and I was just watching Fedorov and everybody. And I looked over at Brian from MXA, and I go, dude, I think Fedorov's gonna win this race, dude. He just was like, I had the Tiger zoned in, dude. And I'm like, watch, he's gonna win it. Some bitch if he didn't. So that was pretty cool. I mean, all those kids, they're winning. They're all doing good, and it'll be interesting to see who goes pro in the outdoors and who stays around and does another season. There's obviously a couple of kids who are just coming back from injury that need another year of SMX next, but if you got 2 years of doing 2 or 3 years of doing SMX next rounds, when you finally do go pro, you're gonna pretty much know what to expect. It's not gonna be like, oh my God, what am I doing? And it's like, all right, let's go, let's do it. So it's definitely good.
Yeah, it's a great program they're running. Obviously, you saw like the young Aussie Caden Minear last year at Outdoors doing like the SMX Futures Combine, absolutely dominating. Now he's got a star ride. I think he's recovered from his injury now, so he'll be back racing soon. But it shows if you can get yourself in the spotlight, that SMX Next Futures program's awesome, isn't it, mate? Better than racing, I guess, the amateur circuit because you're in the stadiums, same race weekend, you feel the pressure, you feel the crowd. So many things it does, and it fast tracks their development, doesn't it? So pretty cool program overall, isn't it?
Yeah, and the good thing is like Loretta's is great and everything, and it's still very valid, but you don't kind of get the media exposure like you do when you're racing outdoors. So the combine's good, and then Supercross is its own animal. And what these kids, some of them are starting to understand that your social media presence is huge. I mean, you got to do all the things right on the bike and on the training, but you've also got to have a personality, because if you don't have a personality, people are going to go, I'd rather go for that guy. He's right up there with this dude, but he's also got a personality. And, I mean, hate to talk bad about kids, but there's some kids out there like talking to a doorknob. And it's like, oh, dude, this guy's screwed unless he's just lightning fast and just winning, But if you're like kind of a weird introvert kid and you're just mid pack guy, it's you might want to go think about something else career, because the things have changed. You got to be the complete package moving forward, and Deegan kind of set that in stone. That's what they're all going to want. They're going to want the exposure.
Yeah, well
So,
said, mate. It's obviously, yeah, there's so many things you got to have dialed these days. And give us your thoughts on the track and just shooting that track as well from a filmer's perspective. The whoops were really challenging, obviously skimming, blitzing versus the jumping. You'd sort of Chase doing it, then he went away from it in the main just because he said it was quite energy sapping. But Wilson, Ferrandis, Thrasher, these kind of guys absolutely crushed it. But what was your thought? The track build as well. The guys did a pretty awesome job given the weather leading up to the event. Yeah, the construction of the whoops, we've touched on that. But yeah, came up pretty good considering everything, didn't it, mate? So just your take on the track itself and how it was for a filmer.
oh, dude, it was killer as a filmer. That was a bitchin' track, dude. Anytime the whoops are on the outside lane, it's just great, because the whoops are the hardest thing to film if they're on the inside. It's a kind of a pain in the ass. The only way you can film them is from the safety hold. And so I thought the track was killer. I thought it was built well. They did an excellent job of keeping it covered. I was out there Friday morning at 6 a.m. before we had any rain, and they had everything tarped off and covered. And obviously you're not going to tarp the start, but they already had two massive piles of dirt out there under plastic, ready to go. And I posted a video first thing Saturday morning, and all the moto geologists got on there just, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be a duh, duh, duh. Okay, buddy. Last time you moved some dirt, your wife made you dig a potted plant out of the yard, and yeah, okay, you're an expert. But yeah, shit. They pushed all the slop off to the side, and they worked in that dirt. And before the first bike hit the track, dude, that start was dialed, dude. I mean, you didn't even get muddy at track walk. That's how good of a job Dirtworks did. And I just thought the whole track was pretty legit, dude. I liked it. I really liked that elevated bull turn. I was bummed that nobody took the Excite bike line on that elevated bull turn with the ski jump. I mean, they were just doing the double, but I was hoping somebody'd be stupid enough to crank that thing, dude. But I kept looking, but nobody tripled in or anything like that. They just doubled and then tripled out. But that would have been a highlight reel shot if somebody would have hit that. But I was egging people on like crazy at the track walk. And Austin Forkner's like, I don't know, dude. I don't even know what's going on here, dude. Shit. And then Chase was like, I got a line. I'm like, oh, please, please, please. No, he didn't crank it out. Coop kind of looked at him and was like, yeah. When Justin Hill said, man, I'm doubling off this thing and tripling out, that just let all the wind out of my sails. I'm like, all right, if Hill won't hit it, if Hill's like, then it's not, the only person who'd do it is Stewart. It was stewable. That was it.
Yeah, man, those dudes are savages, and if not doing it, it's must be pretty sketchy. But yeah, just give us your take on Cooper Webb, mate. What a ride! Handled the pressure the entire race from Chase. He was on his tail, but it's just an absolute beast of an effort. So obviously hard to see him losing it now after he clawed back the points Chase gained. But yeah, what a response after last week. Chase had the masterclass, put a real flex on him, won by 15 odd seconds. But Webb knew he needed that whole shot and he clinched it, mate. And I guess he was pretty smooth and he didn't really make too many mistakes, negotiated the lappers really well. So it's just a sort of a mentality and a riding clinic he put on. And just to control the series now, he can sort of get a couple of thirds and it still does the job. So just your take on it, mate. What a ride by Webb, and seeing it in person must have been just so impressive and really sort of thrilling as well, just seeing them so close the whole race.
Yeah, he absolutely crushed it. He was on it big time. Definitely on it. So, um, yeah, his mind games. The baby thing was a little weird, but okay, But I guess he didn't like getting finger banged. Nobody finger bangs Cooper Webb. So I don't know. That was just a little strange, but all right. And but you could see afterwards Chase was just like, he was. People were calling him a poor sport. I'm like, dude, everybody they roll you off the way Chase Sexton went off, and Webb went where he shouldn't have, but he didn't give a shit. He's going to do whatever he wants. It's a dead track right there. And everybody's like, oh, well, he was poor sport. He didn't stop. I'm like, no, he rolled off, and on the podium, he shook his hand. I watched it. So it's like, God, people chill the frick out, dude.
Yeah, mate, it's sort of, yeah, it's just after they've just had an absolutely draining main event where they were both just pushing the limits. It was epic out there, and like you said, they left it out there, but Webb sort of came up clutch, didn't he? Chase obviously just falls short now. So do you reckon Chase might have had a chance of winning that if he got the whole shot, mate? Because it was hard to pass and it was fine margins and they were all putting in such consistent laps. So hardly anything between him. But do you think if Chase, got that start and he could, blitz those whoops, and that's where he was the real only separation, a couple of other points. But yeah, aside from that, it was pretty close, mate. So I guess, do you reckon whoever got the start had the win, and Coop got it done, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the start was key in there, but I don't think Webb was going to be denied. He was just more, to me, aggressive from what I saw. He was on one, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he wouldn't be denied, like you said. And obviously, Justin Cooper, pretty cool night of racing for him. Obviously, absolutely dialed in the heat race, just making those moves and then just clearing out. But he had the fastest lap in the race, which was pretty impressive. So he definitely has that speed and he's really close to those heavy hitters. Pretty much everywhere on the track, he's, as fast as those other guys, just the whoops. But that wasn't so bad in this particular race. He had that awesome 2, 3, 4 whoops line. And he was dialed, and it's definitely an art in itself jumping the whoop. So if he can translate that into blitzing, he'll be a massive force for wins and podiums consistently throughout the rest of his 450 career. But yeah, I guess he was committed to jumping and he's so good at it. And it's hard to switch like the opposite for Chase. He was committed to skimming and it's really hard to switch and do the jumping. And you saw him run off the track there. So it's a definite art, mate. But just your take on Cooper, the speed was immense, the riding was immense, and he's definitely enjoying another good season, isn't he?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how good he's riding. And it's funny, it's almost like he's Cooper Webb's little brother, dude. When Coop went and did the champagne shower, Justin went and did it with him, and he's a whoop jumper now, and it's a little Coop. You know what I mean? I watch it next year. He's going to come out playing mind games and talking shit, and Justin's like the quietest guy there, dude. He didn't talk to anybody, and that'd be funny as hell if he kind of came in talking shit and messing with people next year. That'd be the smartest thing that dude could do, is start playing head games with people. People are like, wait, what? Justin Cooper's talking shit? That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I think the guy's great, dude, and he's a damn good rider. And I just hope I'm there the night he gets his first win. That'd be sick.
Yeah, he's not far off, is he? You never know. Maybe the last two rounds with it's hard to obviously see Chase or Webb not getting it, but you never know. Him and AP are definitely the guys with the speed to get amongst it. And maybe Roxon, he seems to be recovering a little bit better. He's riding during the week now. So, maybe Roxon, he'd probably be more inclined to help Sexton. He's good mates. He's got that rivalry with Webb, but it's hard to see any of them getting in the way at this point. It's just a straight shootout between those two hitters. But just some words on AP as well and Roxon. They've definitely had flashes, but just couldn't obviously match it with those other guys throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean AP's cooking, and I just think he's getting better and better.
Any other 450 sort of insights you got for us, mate? Mookie, another solid effort. Ferrandis was good, wasn't he? He was skimming those whoops
Yeah,
like an
he's
absolute
he's he's
weapon.
getting better. Yeah, Ferrandis is riding a lot better. Too bad it's the end of the damn season, but he's figuring it out, and I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely a lot spicier than he was at the beginning of the year or last year. So that's good. Maybe he just doesn't give a shit anymore. And sometimes when people don't give a shit, their results improve. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon he's got a little bit of an edge from not getting that HRC ride, them giving it to Dino as well? Do you reckon that's something about that?
Oh yeah, that probably fucking got his fucking banana hammock in a twist. He's French, so
And
he wears a banana hammock. Sucks about Bam Bam being out too.
yeah, another guy that's just going to be hitting it up for outdoors. That round one at Parla, which you're going to be there, I'd imagine, is going to be absolutely epic, isn't it?
Yeah, Paulo be sick.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it for sure, mate. And obviously onto the 250s. Obviously, a lot of people writing Vial off, didn't have the win in him, but he certainly silenced the haters and the doubters with a statement performance. Thrasher was absolutely excellent. He was looking good, skimming the whoops. But yeah, Vial just hung in there and seized his chance, made the move, and super impressive. He had that extra bit of speed this weekend too, and he capitalized on RJ having a spill, Hammaker having that early drama off the start in the first couple of laps, and yeah, pretty impressive, Vial. He sort of would have been some pretty good odds on him getting the win there, mate. So just your take on the 250 class there.
Uh, I was impressed with Vial. I was so grateful when Seth was ping ponging with people that he didn't crash and throw it away. Um, RJ, he's riding through a lot of pain. So the fact that it's 1, 2, 3, winner take all is sick going into Salt Lake City. I mean, it worked out the best it could work for us for suspense and drama and all that shit. Does the squeaky clean Frenchman squeak it out and celebrate with a gallon of Kool-Aid again in Salt Lake, or does RJ just get rip roaring drunk on his last night as a 250 rider, or does Seth get it? You look at the way Seth rode and the way he came back through the pack. I still think Seth's the guy you got to look for. My honest opinion, RJ's pretty gritty and he's beat up, but he knows how to win championships. So I still think it's between Seth and RJ. I just think Vial got damn lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be
But
really
he
interesting.
was riding spicy. He
Mm.
was riding more aggressive than he normally does. So who knows? But you know, I'd imagine that's about a $500,000 bonus to win the championship, and also kind of a shoe in for a 450 ride. So maybe that mentality's kicked in.
Yeah, he stepped up when he needed to for sure. And it was Hammock at that moment he had with Hardy Munoz. That was absolutely wild. And obviously, I don't know if you watched back the broadcast yet, but the Lawrence brothers were commentating that 250 mate and, they're mates and they train with Seth. And it was a wild ride for them too, mate.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched the broadcast back. I think I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched it in the last 3 weeks. I just haven't had time, dude. So, um, yeah, I'd imagine they did pretty good. I saw Ricky at the stadium, and he was happy-go-lucky. That was the first time I've seen him since all that bullshit went down. And he's like, "Man, you're killing it, dude." I said, "Thanks, bud." So um, yeah, it was interesting to hear some of the comments about the boys being on the broadcast and all that. And it's like people are such fucking haters, dude. Just get over it, dude. Let it go. It's dead. Next, let's go.
Yeah, I know. There's always that lingering sort of some riders, and those boys definitely cop their fair share of hate. But I also wanted to get your take on RJ. Obviously, it's looking like he's just going to get through the season. Obviously, he's battling that injury. Do you think that he does any 450 outdoors? There's a bit of talk that he'll skip that. So does that mean maybe he'll do 250 SMX because he's had a win, so he's qualified? if I believe that's correct. So maybe we do see a little bit more of RJ on a 250, mate.
Yeah, I mean, for proper, true, traditional Supercross, I think Salt Lake's going to be the last round. But yeah, I think you're going to see RJ probably on Monday or Tuesday after Salt Lake going and getting another little tune up, and then healing up and getting ready for SMX in September. So if he went in for a tune up the beginning of May, you take 8, 12 weeks, whatever, he's got plenty of time to get ready for SMX on a 250, and then just do SMX on a 250, and then start training for Supercross 2026 on a 450. It kind of messed his plan up, but yeah, something tells me he's got some. He just keeps saying, "I just need to get through Supercross. I just need to get through Supercross." So that tells me he's got an injury that he needs fixed, and you're never going to hear about it from anybody. But if I was a betting man, I would think that's probably a pretty legit scenario.
Yeah, mate. It's he's a brave dude, and he just absolutely on it every race, just pushing hard. So yeah, respect to him for battling through it. And obviously, need your take on Voland. Epic first podium, mate. You know, it's been well documented. You've done some awesome videos on that bike setup that he's working with. But it's awesome for Club MX too, as well as Voland, because they've been through so much. You know, it's all real great reward for all the hard work. And you see Shock getting podiums, winning heat races. So it's really awesome for the crew down there. They're making strides. They're making waves in the industry, mate. So. But for Voland, he's got all the bike skills, the talent, technique, and yeah, he's just really his re-emergence this season after that injury has been pretty impressive, mate. One of the highlights of the season for sure.
Yeah, he's just so happy-go-lucky too, dude. He's just kind of even keeled, and it was funny as shit. We're down there at the podium, and I'm looking around. And I go, "Where the hell's Talon?" Because Talon was at the race, and everyone's like, "I don't know, dude." And so like that's weird, man. His kid's first podium, and they probably didn't let him down there, which sucks. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have the right credential or something, and he couldn't get down there, which is a bummer. But when me and Brown Dog were leaving, we left probably about, I don't know, 11:30 at night. Almost everybody's out of there, and a couple little cars come out of the parking lot, and there's this little shit box, and I look at it, and there's Max and Talon. So I knock on the window. I go, "Dude, where the hell were you?" And he goes, "Oh, I was signing autographs." Like, "Ah, bullshit." Where you're writing "I beat Ricky" all over the shitter wall. So I used to smoke Ricky, but no. So I mean, those guys were super stoked, dude. You can't. Club had a hell of a night. Federsoft. I think technically that's his first championship for Club for Federsoft. So that's something he can hang his hat on. And I was listening to Main Event Moto earlier. Blair's all, "Technically, I won it the third year time in a row." He goes, "I had nothing to do with it. That was all Club." But that's 3 years in a row that I've got the Futures slash SMX next champion. So that was funny as shit. He's pretty much a crack up. But yeah, they're all stoked on that kid. And um, the win with, or I mean, the podium with Max. I mean, those guys are riding high, dude, and they're firing on all eight. They're just a great organization to be around. I those and the Honda boys, I probably am the closest with. And but Honda, you don't go hang out there too much. They'll kind of start looking at you a little weird. Lars be like, "Okay, Jeff, you've overstayed. You're welcome. Get out of here, fat boy." And plus, Club's got good food, so I just kind of go lurk around and get free pizza. But yeah, they tolerate me, so I definitely they fit my brand of dark humor, so I can be myself there and probably won't get in too much trouble. Except Mike B kind of looks at me a little funny. So I can't say this on the air, but I got to tell you the story after we get off of what I asked Jess and Turner about made Mike B's heart stop. So I wish I could say it on air, but I won't. But yeah, it's been fun, and I really hope they make the SMX next add a couple more rounds to it next year. You know. I really do. I think it'd be great to just have it as another class. It's
Mm.
more racing on the night. I like it. To me, I want more racing. I think we fly through it so quick. I would love to see one more class in there.
Yeah, it's good racing too. Nice close racing, everyone trying to prove themselves. So yeah, it's definitely going from strength to strength, both that program as well as Club MX. So awesome to see that, mate. And I guess looking ahead to this weekend, we're going back to the West. Obviously, Deegan's it's his to lose at this point. He's got a nice gap back to Cole Davies. So I guess Deegan will just be playing it smart, playing the long game, playing the title game. So expect him to just bank off a solid performance. I guess Cole Davies is the man to beat. It'd be great to see those other lads back out there who have had injury issues throughout the season, guys like Smith, Shimoda, Marchbank. So you're looking forward to Denver, mate? Should be another interesting round, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Deegan's just smart, and if he gets a couple third places, he's champ, right? I mean, he could win the title in Denver. I mean, just
Yeah.
needs a couple pieces to fall into place, and he's champ. So that number one jersey's going to be in the box at the podium just in case. But uh, I think Deegan plays it smart. I wouldn't be surprised if Cole Davies won the next two races. He's just on fire, and
You
Juju.
do?
I think Juju's going to kind of have something to say about a lot of things in the next two races. We're heading back into that the west. We're back on the Western Front, and that's Juju territory, and he's had some time to rest up and heal up, and hopefully that shoulder's good. But Juju can make it real spicy if he decided to give Hayden a little love for that Anaheim wheel tap. That could make things real interesting real quick. You know, it wouldn't hurt his feelings to see Cole steal that title from Hayden. So
Yeah.
Hayden's gonna have eyes in the back of his head. That kid is one smart little bitch, dude. He's gonna be looking around all. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, no, you can go too." He's not dumb, dude. He wants that big number one plate on his bike. He's not stupid. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if the opportunity knocked if Judy didn't try to punt him into the cheap seats.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Obviously, Deegan's won SMX, won outdoors, so he's looking for that Supercross title. So we just want to have a sort of error-free, drama-free sort of end to the season, and then load up again for outdoors, where he'll be the heavy favourite. And do you see any 450 class action, mate? It's pretty hard. Webb looks like he's got it pretty well dialed if he just rides it safe and smart. And those dudes in that class, they're professional, they're seasoned, they're experienced, they're nothing too crazy is going to go on, you'd imagine. But at Supercross, saw what happened to Eli Tomac a couple of years ago, so you can never count anyone out, can you?
Yeah, dude. The only thing that I just keep getting this little inkling in the back of my head that Tomac's going to show up at Denver. I mean, he's already riding. He's already
Yeah.
riding. Just get some SMX points, and if it truly is his last season, go out there and just have a little fun at Denver, dude. But do you imagine just showing up at press day on Friday and the number three sitting there? Oh shit, here we go. Uh, I mean, that place would just go absolutely bonkers, dude.
Oh, that'd be epic, mate. And obviously, any final thoughts? Obviously, you're excited for Denver. Should be another good one. And how are you and the crew at Whiskey Throttle going, mate? Ping and the lads, they're all crushing it, and you're doing your thing at the races, mate. So looking for a good end of the Supercross season, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, we're about to have a crew change here this week. Nate's last day is Wednesday, and Ethan McDowell starts on Wednesday, and that stupid son of a bitch has no idea what he has in store for him. Let the hazing begin, Junior. But no, we got a crew change. So, obviously with a different filmer, you're going to see a little different style and stuff from the YouTube videos and stuff like that. And we're pressing them really hard to kind of get the YouTube straightened out and get going. And Nate's going off to go to school and wants to be a graphic designer or something. So good for him. And he better hook us up on some graphic designs, or I'm gonna hang him by his underwear from the nearest flagpole when I see him again. So yeah, no, just that's kind of what we got going on, and I'm looking forward to the outdoors, man. Bring it on. Bring out the great outdoors, man. I cannot wait to get back to Southwick and High Point, and I'm doing Dilla this year in Redbud. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Oh, it's going to be awesome, mate. We look forward to it. And yeah, obviously, thanks again for taking the time to join us on this one, mate. And obviously, thank you to the sponsors, In-Fly Racing, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Still Clean for all their incredible support. As without them, none of this is possible. So thanks again, Jeff. Been another ripper chat, and all the best and enjoy the weekend. And we'll catch up next week.
Yeah, buddy. We'll talk soon.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.